Hi, welcome to our puppet studio. I'm here with Jack, and we would like to talk about an important question.
Is AI manufactured art a threat to human-made art?
Okay, so let's begin with defining the terms. AI manufactured art.
Any kind of art, so music, literature, poetry, fine art, photography, videos, anything that can be made with an AI generator.
Okay, so because you're a composer, primarily a composer, let's talk about, well, primarily a pianist, but a composer before you're a puppeteer. Then let's talk about music. Let's talk about AI-generated music, let's say film music. Is it being done?
Well, I don't know a specific circumstances, but what I do know is that creating music, which does sound coherent overall, is absolutely possible with AI. So what does this mean for me as a composer? Well, it means that basically I'm replaceable by a computer, right? So my job is something that a computer can do in a few hours.
Well, it can't
so in
really
that way,
do it.
Well,
I mean, it can do a version of it that people don't recognize the difference.
It can, and most people won't recognize the quality difference between that and my work. A professional will be able to say, like, okay, yeah, I can see this music that this AI created is all plagiarized off of the internet because, as we know, everything that AI makes is plagiarized, right? But most people won't be able to actually see that. So it has two effects, namely, first of all, it can replace the job of real composers. And second of all, there's nothing preventing AI from taking work that belongs to real composers on the internet and ripping it off and turning it into its own and putting it back out as something new.
Right. And
so what does this mean for copyright?
Well, I think copyright's always in a rush to control. So, like, the technology goes and then the copyright goes further.
Right.
The technology, so it's always a race to copyright.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. But didn't you, with your composition teacher, actually create a symphony or a piece of music with AI?
I didn't. He did.
And I know he wasn't so happy with it, but it was possible to do it.
It was absolutely possible.
Okay, so then
it just sounded like a mix of Mozart and Beethoven. I mean, it sounded like music he already knew from different sources.
But if somebody doesn't have a big enough budget to pay a composer, for example, even though they don't know just how cheap you guys will work sometimes, but if they think they don't have enough money, they can hire AI instead of hiring a whole symphony, for example, to do a recording for a movie and so on.
Right.
So it's more interesting that somebody can make a whole movie and they don't actually have to pay a whole orchestra to make their soundtrack and so on and so forth. Which is, puts tons of people out of work, basically.
Yeah.
And actually, it also doesn't have the artistry behind it, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So you say, yes, it's a threat, a monetary threat.
Yes. So a threat monetarily and also as far as artistic property goes at the moment, which will probably change at some point.
Okay. And we would, maybe next week we can talk about if AI-generated music is actually legitimate music or not. That's a sticky subject, but it's an interesting and controversial one. For me, AI, the threat is about the perception of what is human art and what isn't. So as the younger generations accept AI-generated art, because they see it all the time in gaming and then slowly in the art world, so they accept it. And then where is the line between altering old art, old human art? So we can already see, for example, in old movies that they're being regenerated or renovated with AI methods. And if you like old movies, then maybe you feel like I do, which is that this is a complete catastrophe because they're not beautiful. They don't have the same quality anymore. So there's like a glossy layer that AI can put on everything. It's really glossy and nice, and it feels like really professional, but actually it takes away all of the organic elements of the human art.
And that's just one use, because also the second thing is it can almost perfectly replicate human art.
Or voices and so on.
Right.
Yeah.
It's impossible to tell the difference sometimes. Right.
So then, to finish then, so what is our position as artists? So can we then use AI? I mean, because it's awfully convenient, right? Like, let's say you have to quickly write some text, you pull some AI. Is that right, or should we resist, which is almost futile because if AI is accepted, no matter how stupid everybody might think it is not going anywhere?
I think to answer that, we will have to say, is AI art really art? And that's what we'll answer in the next video.
That sounds good. And also, we would like to hear from you what you think. Is AI, is it a threat? Is AI manufactured art a threat to artists? This is an interesting question.
So don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments, and thanks so much for watching.
Yeah, thank you.